Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Locked In. My name is Nathan Jones.
This is Daniel O'Connor.
And today we're going to be talking about ProTour 25th anniversary. There's a bunch of breakout decks. There's a new team to crown champions for this ProTour. Hasn't happened since 2006. And yeah, we got a little bit of controversy too out of this ProTour. So we're going to jump into all of that. And first, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Enchanted Realms, for putting us up, giving us a place to record. We're located in Colorado Springs, Colorado. It is Daniel and I's friendly LGS. Play here constantly. We are in one of many, many private rooms that Enchanted Realms likes to not rent out, but they allow players to use many.
Yeah, you just come in here, you let them know you have a game you want to play in the back room, and they're just like, yeah, go for it.
Yep, so we got a whole bunch of private space. We got a huge main hall for you to come play Magic. We have Modern firing right now. Tuesday night?
Yep.
Tuesday night Modern.
Yep.
So yeah, they're great. Colorado Springs, Colorado, Enchanted Realms. If you are in the area, please come check it out. And with that, let's just jump into it, man.
25 years, 25th anniversary podcast.
25 years of Magic, and it comes down to this.
Oh yeah. Well, no, it doesn't come down to this. We got more to go.
Huh?
We got more to go.
I'm just saying, it comes down to this. Our new winners are Team Hot Sauce Games.
Mm-hmm.
That is a team name I wasn't too familiar with, but we can crown our new champions, Alan Wu, Gregory Orange, and Ben Hull. Congratulations to the three of you guys. New Mexico natives, I believe.
Yep.
That's at least where...
that's where I'm from.
Yeah, that's where coverage was saying that they were coming from, actually. So,
yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not, but that's all I know.
Yep.
Yeah, what'd you think?
Awesome event all in all. Like, there was a lot of cool new decks. There was a lot of very tight play. It was very entertaining to watch. And it was just very exciting to have, like, a team event. Like, I think having team events, a little less fun for spiking. I think it's a little less value for spiking. Is very enjoyable for both the players and
coverage.
And yeah,
coverage is huge.
Watching it and enjoying the coverage and both. Yeah, I think it's just a great event.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. Watching it was way more entertaining when there's 6 people sitting around a table and everything is coming down. You have 2 people on either side of the last player playing on the team, and they're helping him out, and it's just so much more entertaining to watch.
Unless you're Orange, in which case you just
just tell people to go sit down and watch.
That's one of my favorite ones. There's just like Orange is over there playing his control match, and the other 2 tables are put on pause so that we can kind of like get full action of watching the other tables. And the other 2 players on Orange's team were just sitting there in their chairs, like twiddling their thumb, watching him do his thing. It was just gorgeous.
But it worked. It worked because these 3 players, Gregory Orange, Ben Hull, and I can't remember the last one. Alan Wu.
There we go.
Are your ProTour 25th anniversary champions. Yeah. We had the 3 winning deck lists. Gregory Orange was playing blue-white control in standard.
Awesome deck.
Wu was playing Death and Taxes.
Not one of my favorites.
In Legacy, specifically. Understandable. And in Modern, we had Hollow One.
Yep. Also not one of my favorites, but that's beside the point.
Oh man, yeah, we just hate Magic here.
No, we just hate non-blue Magic.
We just hate non-blue Magic at this table.
Yep, this is the non-blue Magic.
So congratulations to Hot Sauce Games. It was very entertaining to watch. Let's jump into the games though. I think that the breakout strategy of this weekend was definitely the blue-black Death Shadow deck.
Called it.
Yeah, okay. To be fair,
yes. I didn't quite call it.
No. To be fair, you did. You for sure did. I mean, in regards of you playing this deck for the past how many months now? I mean, obviously, it was a little bit different before the banning of Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah. Before the banning of... Well, it wasn't even Shaman, it was a Cataxian Probe.
Right, that was the big one.
Cataxian Probe in the Shadow deck made it really just like you have the information, but you also like, hey, you're happy to pay the 2 life to pump up your Death Shadow.
So how long were you playing it?
I want to say it was like a little after... fall of last year was when I bought my Force of Wheels and got fully into Legacy.
Yep, and so it was about that time that we started having conversations about that deck.
Oh,
and I remember us talking about it and being like, yes, I think that this is an absolutely great strategy. And a lot of people kind of give you crap for it, right?
Yeah, everybody was just like, yeah, it's like Shadow. That's kind of cute tech, I suppose. And then it's just like, yeah, but it's when you play Shadow right, it's bigger than everything else, and it's so cheap.
And it's faster.
Yeah,
it's like bigger and faster than everything.
Yeah, the tech that I didn't play much before was the snuff out. That I thought was very clever.
Yeah,
Just like it's a free for life. You just kill a thing. You always have a swamp. It makes sure it's an instant speed, so you can use it as a combat trick to bump up your
Shadow, kill a thing, 2-for-1s
all
day.
Oh yeah,
It was so good. Speaking about that, do you know the price of snuff out now? After
like
the Pro Tour?
$5 or something like that.
Yeah, it's insane.
It was $1 when I grabbed mine.
Yeah.
I grabbed mine for Popper way back when.
Yeah.
Because that's a format. But I grabbed mine for Popper way back when, and it was like $5.
Yeah, but
Or it was like $1 then, and it's like
crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy. That was a breakout deck.
The Throne of Death in this sideboard was adorable.
that was sweet.
You're like, oh, that's all kinds of clever.
But yeah, Death and Taxes still took it down.
Yep.
Which is understandable. That just it is a very good matchup for Death and Taxes.
It was a little bit weird because like the Shadow deck when I was watching coverage was winning that matchup pretty cleanly.
Yeah.
And in the final round, they paused. I believe Leighton was up 2-1 going into that last match, and then they paused the Legacy matchup to finish off the Modern one because the Modern one was like the decider. Like if the way they had it, the Standard one already won on the Hot Sauce team. So if the Modern one, which was already up a game, up enough that if they just won the game, then the match was decided. So they paused the Legacy one to focus on the actual deciding game. So they never got to finish off their match, but functionally, yes, the Death and Touch team won the event.
Right. So Gregory Orange is piloting Blue-White Control in Standard.
Yes.
That guy, man, let me tell you something. He ran so hot all weekend long.
That was amazing to watch.
Yeah, did you happen to catch any of his other games throughout the weekend?
Not as many.
So he pretty much just kind of steamrolled everyone, man.
Yeah, he
ran so hot, and it's insane to see that after this really stale Standard format with red decks running everything for so long, that a pile of blue spells can still take it down.
Oh yeah.
It's really like, man, it just makes my heart feel good.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you actually get like.
I legitimately expected a red-black mirror in the finals.
Yeah, like
I really did.
What was it? The last Pro Tour we had, it was like 6 red decks in the top 8 or something. So it was just like.
It was like 6 or 7.
Yeah, it was legitimately over 16 chain whirlers in the top 8. Now we have a blue-white deck, and it's like a blue-white deck.
Right, which was completely insane. But the red-black deck was taking up over 40% of the metagame, or was it exactly 40? 40% of the Pro Tour metagame.
I have 40.0, yeah. So
okay.
Yeah, 40%. That means that on any given round, you're like almost half likely to play red.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, you almost at that point.
What's mono red?
So that was black red. Mono red's over here at 4%.
4?
Yeah. Well, like the red-black deck just gives you a better edge. The mono red is just like you're kind of in a one-track mode, which is better against the black-red decks actually.
Right.
But the black-red gives you a better edge against basically everything else.
Right.
So you usually choose that, but like and then there's the bolus red decks at 2% over here, which I think is adorable. And
that's Todd Stevens special.
Yes, I believe he was the one.
Yeah, the mono red Grixis or mono red bolus decks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, that's how you top a curve right there.
So that was great. It was really awesome to see him like kind of just steamroll past all of his opponents all weekend long. I mean, obviously, at such a crazy event when you're playing such high caliber players, like you obviously need to be good at Magic, but he really.
Yeah, no,
he ran hot. Like his top decks were insane all weekend.
Like I've alluded to this on some of the other episodes. Is like when you find a deck that you're comfortable playing, you gain so much more of an edge than just playing.
That's very true.
And like he's known for playing. Greg Orange is known for playing control decks, especially like blue-white control decks.
Yeah.
So like he just played what he wanted to play, and because of that, he put himself in such a great position to take down the Pro Tour.
And then we had Hollow One taking down KCI. And let me tell you something, I'm not a fan of either one of these decks in Modern. However, it was very, very... Okay, so you saw the coverage?
Yes.
Of everything? Man, that Leyline of the Void just wrecked that deck.
Oh, yeah. And it's just like, it's so hard to go... Like, you watch that...
He had no options and was playing 3-mana 2/2s or 1/1s or whatever.
Yeah, it was just miserable to watch him just, like, try to struggle through that. And just, like, every turn, he's optimizing for chunk blockers and not dying.
Yeah.
Because he can't go off. And he's like, okay, he's only drawing, like, the 1 card or maybe 2 cards a turn to try to go off. but he has to find the enchantment removal to go off. And he's like,
Right.
he can't play his game. He has to play the blocking game.
Yep.
The turn. It's just
Absolutely.
miserable to watch him try to do that.
Yeah, it can be miserable to watch KCI go off. To be fair, so I mean,
I've sat through
so
that,
I don't feel super bad, for KCI players. I mean, I don't blame people for playing that deck. It's a very good deck.
Oh yeah, no,
It's just not the most fun to watch on coverage, right? That's the reason I don't like it.
Sure.
Because when I like tune into these crazy Magic events and I see KCI sitting at the table, I'm kind of like, oh man, like it's kind of like Storm. You know what I mean? Where
yeah,
it's like
okay, they are going off. You grab, if you're sitting on your couch, you just pull up your phone and figure out, okay, what else is going on in the world of Magic?
like a really good comparison is like if you're playing against. If it's the type of deck where you definitely solitaire a lot and it's not fun for your opponent to play Magic, then it's probably not fun to watch on coverage. But I mean, it was what it
I
was.
certainly don't blame anybody for playing it. It's a very cool deck.
Sweet, very unique strategy.
It's very decision intensive to play it and to try to go off.
Yeah.
So I think it's not I don't fault anybody for playing it. I just think it's
it takes a lot of skill too to play the deck. I don't fault anyone. I just don't care for it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, either playing against it or playing it myself. Like, I don't think I'd ever pick up a deck like that.
I might.
I mean, I
might. I'm not gonna lie.
I have blue-red storm built, so I can see myself maybe thinking about it, but it's like
kind of similar in a weird way.
Yeah, it's you're trying to play your own game, thing. So I kind of understand. Like, it's a thing that somebody would play.
So yeah, 25th anniversary. Congratulations to the players on Hot Sauce Games, man. That was a fantastic finals to the Pro Tour, I thought.
Well, that was completely exciting to watch.
It was so much. It's so much better to watch two teams play against each other. It's so much more dynamic at that point.
It also adds a little bit interestingness to the watching the feature match area.
Yes.
When you're watching the feature match area on a normal Pro Tour, you are bouncing between four matches that don't really have anything to do with each other.
Yes.
Which is fine. Like, you're watching four different matchups of Magic. They're very interesting in their own right. But when you put three matches in the feature match area and they all matter to each other, it is a little bit more entertaining to watch.
It makes it way more dynamic.
It's just another axis of interest.
Like the fact that the legacy matchup was kind of like, okay, let's take a break and see how these other two go.
Yeah, because they're just like, unless this matchup goes a certain way, our matchup doesn't matter anyway. So we're just gonna.
Yeah.
The coverage probably paused them. They were probably wanted to play Magic.
Right.
Who doesn't want to play Magic?
Right. So that was awesome. You got our show notes up.
Yeah.
So congratulations to the three of them. However,
new decks.
Amongst everything else, there were a slew of not a slew. There were two new decks that have been popping up
in standard. There's new decks
in standard. One in specific is Reservoir Combo. It's been a deck that's been known about, but it hasn't put up phenomenal numbers.
It's nothing online deck where it's just like some people play it and they get people, and so they get the 5-0 in the league kind of thing.
Right.
But it hasn't seen play on this level yet.
Yeah. So Reservoir Combo came out. It was like what, 5% of the meta? Did you say?
Let me double check that. But yeah, it's about that.
Yeah, it's like 4 to 5% of the metagame, which is kind of crazy.
That's actually not a small amount.
What was it? Reservoir Combo 5.5. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a good showing. That is a good showing.
Fourth most populated deck too.
Like you said, like 5% of the metagame is something that that makes it a deck that you have to keep in mind when you're playing.
When you build your deck, or not really so much when you build your deck,
but when you make your deck, when you decide on what deck to play, you have to keep that matchup in mind. Like,
you have to make sure that does this deck just straight lose to that deck? And if it does, then do you add in an extra sideboard card? How much? There's a whole. We could go into deck building a while, but it's enough that you have to at least think about it.
Yeah, you have to be cognizant that this deck is out in the format. So 5%, 5.5, 5.5% is a good showing for this deck. It uses Aetherflux Reservoir and Paradoxical Outcome.
Oh yeah.
To gain insane card advantage.
Yeah. You just pick up all your stuff and then you play them again.
You draw a bunch of cards and you essentially just storm out your opponent and one-shot them with Aetherflux Reservoir.
And when you're not doing that, it still has the side plan. You still have creatures. You still have the Construct token. You still have the Gluttonous Crane can still be down. It's a very cool deck.
Yeah, it featured Psy, Master Thopterist.
Yes.
As a big engine of the deck, and everything is kind of tied together with inspiring statuary. That's what turns the deck from a fun FNM deck to a seriously competitive deck. When inspiring statuary resolves, like it's really hard for you to not lose the game at that point. I feel like.
Yeah, your spells just cost. Like every time you play a spell, the rest of your spells cost less, basically.
Yep. And then when you have a Psy out in play, every consecutive spell you cost makes everything cost one less, and then you're still just generating a Thopter.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy if you think about it.
Yeah, no, it's a deck that builds on itself. Like I built this deck for a commander, just a commander artifact combo deck with a lot of these with the reservoir pieces, and it goes nuts fast. Like even and commander is of course like just the combo format, but like even in the standard version of the deck, it just gets out of hand really quickly. Like you try the deck like once you've put out a bunch of artifacts, then you just play reverse engineer, draw 3 more cards, you play them all out. You have a lot of your cards like prophetic prism draw you more cards.
Yep.
Your paradoxical outcome, you pick up all your cards, you draw more cards, and then you play all your cards again and then draw you more cards. It's ridiculous.
That's fair.
What could you not like more than that? The only thing this deck is missing is Laboratory Maniac.
Lab Maniac would make this deck great.
Yeah, it makes every deck great.
Okay, core set, you made a mistake. Should have reprinted Lab Maniac.
It's creeped up to like $10 now, hasn't it?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
One of those cards I don't pay attention to.
I like the card because I play
Me too, but I don't
It's a
really
good card.
keep an eye out for the price of that card specifically. There was a second deck at the Pro Tour this weekend, and man, let me say, it's been making waves, man. Not only just as a sweet new brew that has been coming up, but some other little controversies too we'll get into in just a little bit. But this deck, Bant Nexus, it's essentially a Turbo Fog.
Yep.
Turbo Fog deck looking to go like infinite no-win condition with Teferis and Nexus of Fate.
I'm trying to think of it
To
actually.
just like take infinite turns, or to like Teferi Tuck.
Yeah, you're
for a win. You know what I mean?
You take enough turns that you just ultimate your planeswalker, and then you're just like, okay, I don't have to take any more turns anymore. I just have to draw cards. And you could do something where you just keep taking turns drawing cards. I remember at one point seeing on coverage, this guy had 5 turns racked up, kind of like on this. The way extra turns work is almost like a backward stack, where it's like the last one put on the stack kind of takes turn in the back of the line, and you resolve. I believe that's how extra turns work.
Okay.
But yeah, the guy racked up 5 extra turns on one of his turns, or through consecutive turns. And at that point, you're just
This was on coverage?
This was on coverage.
How did I miss this?
It might not have been on coverage. It might have been on one of the other like back tables or whatever. But I remember seeing it and it's just like, okay, this is just crazy. And at that point, it does play one Oath of Teferi. You just like start double activating your card and your Teferi in the deck. I believe it also plays Nissa to scry 2 every turn. And you just go off and you're just like, okay, I play my own game for several turns, then I ultimate my Teferi, I play my own game some more, draw a bunch of cards, wipe your board, and then I'll let you have turns again once you can't do anything. We'll go back to playing Fair Magic until you can't do anything and you deck yourself, and I took Teferi by myself all the time.
Yep, or just take infinite turns.
Yeah. Well, the problem is you can't... with Nissa you could take infinite turns and actually win. The problem with taking the infinite turns...
Okay, so there's this weird thing about Nexus of Fate that I was reading online. That because Nexus of Fate makes you shuffle it back into your library, like there's this weird rule in Magic where if you're like taking infinite turns but you're not doing anything, you essentially have to reach a point where you're like, okay, I pass priority to you, or I end my turn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't just take infinite turns forever to draw the game.
You can't do anything a near infinite amount of time without affecting the board state.
Right. So, but with Nexus of Fate, I was reading online that there's like I wanted to bring this up with you this week because I'm not totally sure on the clarity of it, but because Nexus of Fate says you shuffle it back into your like since you are technically shuffling your library, like you're doing an action, you're doing a game action, and so it allows you to Nexus of Fate infinitely. So you can do that. That's what somebody was arguing or saying online.
If I don't know, because I believe the 4 Horsemen deck also doesn't work this way. I gotta double check the rulings, but yeah, there's a rule that's like if you're doing an action the same repetitively without changing the board state, you have to do something else, or it's considered slow play. You can't just do the same thing over and over without changing the board state.
Okay.
Or just saying, hey, I am doing this thing 1,000 times and create a loop and then do it. So you can't just say, I'm taking infinite turns. You have to actually change the board state. Now, if shuffling your deck is considered changing the board state, or you're changing the state of the game, then you could easily make that argument. It's like, yes, I'm taking infinite turns, but I am changing the way the game is because my deck is randomized each time, so I can get around slow play and take infinite turns.
Yeah, that was the argument that people were having online.
Now, granted, you could.
So I'm not totally sure on the clarity of that. I mean, we'll figure it out.
There are easier ways to, like, you could easily find a line to win in infinite turns. That's not just I have to rules lawyer myself into allowing myself to take it.
Yeah, until we go to time.
Yeah, like you can actually win the game. There are ways of doing it.
So that was pretty awesome. Seeing the second play, that was another like 5% of the metagame.
Something like that. Yeah, it was a real amount of the metagame that was actually playing this deck.
A lot of big name pros were playing this deck. It was kind of surprising, actually. I'm pretty sure. I want to say to be fair that Saffron Olive spearheaded this deck a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he was the one who started this. I want to say it was him, and I remember seeing somebody pop up. Well, it was a control player that I follow. I don't remember the name of him.
Okay.
But he posted a screenshot of him taking down the Magic Arena competitive league with his deck.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. He just 7-0'd the league real quickly.
That's cool.
And he was just like, "Yep, article going." I want to say it might have been Nassif. Gabriel Nassif might have been the one who posted it.
Is Gabriel Nassif playing Arena?
Possibly. I don't see why not.
Oh,
it's cool. I play Arena because I enjoy the platform. It's also just cheap. So yeah, but no, I remember seeing it pop up a couple weeks ago just as this cool joke deck, and then it just took off.
Yeah, which is kind of insane.
Yeah, I found it. So for reference, there were, I believe, 80 teams. I believe there were roughly 80 teams in the event for the Pro Tour itself, and there were 6 people on this Turbo Fog deck for like 4% of the metagame.
That's insane.
That's a decent amount of the metagame.
Insane, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of crazy that the Reservoir combo actually had more of the metagame.
The Reservoir
4.5
combo
or 5.5.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the combo is just more. The blue combo is more fun to play. You have more lines of play than just fog, take turn, fog. But the other thing is, and this is going to go what we're going to talk about later, is I think having the Nexus of Fate card in there makes it much more different. It makes it harder to actually get the deck and play the deck.
So, okay. Can we just have the obligatory Nexus of Fate conversation right now? I mean, we might as well. We're talking about the deck.
Yeah. This is like the transition.
So, for people who don't realize what's been going on with this damn card, Nexus of Fate overnight became a $50 card. It's dropped down. I believe it's about $30-$35 now. Somebody was telling me out in the shop earlier. I mean, because I knew it was going to go down. There's no way that it could stay 50.
It was 20 before the Pro Tour or something like that?
No, it actually had dipped down to 12. It had dipped down to 12, and I considered buying one at $12 because I wanted one for a commander deck.
Oh yeah, that's a reasonable price. Right now, I have it at market price of $28.
Whoo, it's dropping quick. I don't think people are buying into it.
No, I think this is one of those cards that's got a Force Wizard's hand in one way or another.
Yep.
But so basically, for those who don't know, it's a buy a box only promo. The only way you could get this card is spending $100 on this card and getting a free box of Magic. And you could only do that a month ago. It was basically kind of sold out in stores within like the first...
Within a week.
Yeah, like within a week, people just bought all the boxes.
Yep.
Which means this card was a $100 card, but that came with a free box of Magic cards, so gave that. And because of that, like, this price can't functionally go down in the, like, as long as it sees play, it won't go down.
In the traditional sense, it can.
Yeah.
Like you can't just be like, oh, there's a massive limited GP this weekend. A whole bunch of cards are going to hit the market overnight.
Exactly. You cannot introduce new supply into the market.
Look, I'm going to make this argument right now. This is a terrible idea. We were having this conversation as a community when Firesong and Sunspeaker came out and Dominaria.
Yeah, everybody was like...
And we're like, okay, that's a cool card. It's a cool niche idea. It's clunky and kind of only fits in Commander. You can't really play that in Standard. I mean, you can, but not effectively.
Yeah.
And, everyone was just kind of like, okay. But then we had this conversation in the community where it was like, man, it's only a matter of time before it gets crazy and they print a 4-of card in Standard, and then the second buy a box promo ever it happens. And that's ridiculous.
You know the dumb part was Wizards' justification for printing the second the Nexus of Fate was that Dominaria sold so well. It's like, no, Dominaria sold so well because it was
Dominaria, not because of Firesong and Sunspeaker.
Nobody bought the, like, I remember we didn't sell enough boxes of Dominaria to get rid of our Fire Songs and Sunspeaker.
And we gave them out.
Yeah, I have one that I got for free as a door prize.
Yep.
Because they just they weren't worth it to people to keep.
Right.
But the Nexus of Fate, it's a real card that gets played as of 4 of in a lot of decks. It's going to be a commander staple.
Not in one deck, but still.
Yeah.
That's still enough to drive the price up.
Yeah, but it's like, it's going to be a commander card forever because it's an instant speed, take an extra turn effect.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It's also a way...
And it shuffles back into your library.
Yeah, no, like...
What?
Yeah, no, it's almost strictly better Beacon of Tomorrow, which already saw play in commander decks or taking.
Absolutely.
I can easily see it maybe seeing play in like some cool legacy combo deck.
It blows my mind that, like, we all knew that Wizards of the Coast was playing with fire. We all knew. We all had the conversation, and then for it to just happen so quickly. Part of me feels like these people are doing it just to prove a point. You know what I mean? Like this deck, like part of me feels like some people
like
just to like prove a point to Wizards of the Coast and kind of force their hand because like MTGO, they're still like can you look up the price for the MTGO?
Current set I'm on, but yes, I can pull that up in a second.
Because it's some astronomical price, or at least it was, and then they had made like a hot fix to the treasure chests. So they have like a really high chance to drop in these treasure chests so people can get their copies.
Yeah. Nexus of Fate, price online, currently sitting at $40. I see the spike on this graph going past 80.
Oh.
Yeah, no. For an online card that you need to test with, Nexus of Fate was breaking Force of Will prices.
Oh.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, no. This day it's just,
oh my God.
Like, I think between this, the stupid Global series, which is another thing, is just like you're making Magic have these weird problems.
Exclusivity things. It's weird.
It's just like you're not making the same game for everybody now.
Right, and that's the whole point of Magic is like this game.
This is all our game.
Right, this is like the game for everyone. Like, why would you my entire entire life I've played Magic. The Magic community has always been like inclusive and had open arms for everybody, right? Yes. And like Wizards of the Coast is printing cards that literally separate people. Like obviously I'm kind of, exaggerating a little bit.
I would be happier if it was a promo that was only distributed.
Sure.
In I don't remember exactly which country in Asia it was, but it's an Asia promo. And
it's Chinese.
It's Chinese?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would be happy if it was like only distributed in Asia and legal.
No.
Well, illegal around. The problem I have with it is standard is different set legality in a specific country on one side of the planet than in the rest of the world.
The last time this happened, do you know the last time that happened?
No.
Ashiok.
Ashiok was...
there's an Asian printing of Ashiok where Ashiok's +1 is a +2. In I believe it's a Chinese version of Ashiok.
Huh.
Yeah. Kind of crazy. And they had to... I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong. I might be wrong.
Was this a typo that they had on only the Asian cards?
Yes, only. It's a very specific, simplified Chinese or something like that.
Okay.
I'm not totally sure, to be honest with you, but I'm pretty sure that they allowed it to just be a +2 in that language in that country. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
I found a Chinese version online that has it a +2 instead of. I thought it was always a +2. Yeah,
no, it's just a +1.
Huh? Interesting.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, it's just like it's. I feel like that's something that should have just been like.
Look at the backlash, though. Like how? Like what a PR nightmare. You know what I mean? And
again,
I get it.
Like if the card is bad, theoretically nobody's playing it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But as soon as you accidentally make one of these cards decent, it breaks everything, and now you have.
And now everybody's angry about it.
Yeah, you have actual problems that would have been avoided if you just say, hey. Distribute it in China to make it cool, but especially if you are doing this around the world. Like if they're doing this around the world for different countries,
you can't do that. You can't distribute cards in one region of the world.
But you make them legal the rest of the world, and then it's like, okay, now you have your I think I bring
so this. Wait, this is just gonna make it super. So like this card, I can only get a Chinese version of it if I want to play it, and I have to order it from a Chinese vendor.
Maybe
that sounds miserable.
It's the internet. You could do it.
I get it.
You could do it if you wanted to, but I think that's a better solution than saying a format is different played in different countries
I
of the
see.
world.
Yeah,
I think that's just a horrible.
Yeah, is also terrible. But like at the same time, you can't. Like if you told the Magic community, like, hey, we're gonna print this card in Russian, and we're only gonna distribute it in Russia, and it's only gonna be in Russian text. So if you want one, you can play one, but you gotta get it from Russia. Like Magic players would be pissed. What are you talking about?
I mean, I don't think it's great. I think it shows, especially if you do that with a lot of like the more niche countries. It feels a lot more like Olympics, where it's just like, hey, everybody gets the slide of their country kind of thing. I think it's a neat idea.
Sure, but don't make it standard legal.
Yeah.
Don't make it standard. I actually really like the idea of this. What is it called? The World
Series. The World. It's the Global Series.
The Global Series. That's what it is. I love the idea of it, to like have these Magic cards that are inspired from different fantasies or histories or anything like that from different cultures around the world. That is such a cool idea, but.
It feels a lot like the invitational cards, where it's like, this is a card that is inspired by a real life thing, right? Whether it's a real life person
or just this country's mythology, or
exactly.
Like
it is based in the real world, like the Arabian Nights. Like there's a card named Aladdin,
right?
That's from Arabian.
Ali of Cairo.
Yeah. Like there's real life cards, and I think that's really a neat thing to do. But to mess up standard like this is just like so. It just causes this rift that's like, it doesn't make standard sensible anymore.
Yeah, I like the concept, just not executed well.
Yeah, no, they did it backwards.
And it's funny because as I walked into the shop, it's the only thing that anyone could talk about from the Pro Tour.
Was the Nexus of Fate deck?
No, it was just Nexus of Fate, the card, and how expensive it is. And it took away from the Pro Tour in a weird way.
Yeah, I think because I think that's the reason you don't see Nexus of Fate as represented in the Pro Tour. It's just like, it's so much harder to get that card.
Yeah, it just really comes down to that.
There's just not nearly enough copies in the world, is
it? So, Wizards of the Coast, I don't think you're listening, but if you are, man and lady, and all y'all, don't do that again. Come on.
I think they're going to get the message by.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. They don't need me to tell them also. But come on, you guys, it's such a cool idea. It just wasn't executed right.
No, I think the price is kind of stabilizing and plummeting because it is expected that Wizards are going to do something like that. I fully expect us to see a reprint as like an F&M promo and maybe some sort of like in a real set. Like,
I don't think they'll print in a real set.
I think I could see them printing it in the next
supplementary set.
The next master set.
No, I think if anything, you're going to see that card printed in the next the standard decks that come out. Like we had the vehicles and approach,
the challenger
counters.
Decks.
Yeah, challenger decks. Yeah, I think I'm almost positive that we'll see it in a challenger deck.
That would make sense.
They have to now, right?
Yeah, I mean, my guess is like I know the master set comes out next fall, or next summer is when the master set comes out.
Yeah.
It's too late to put it in the commander decks.
Way too late.
Yeah, like
so we'll probably get it in the next.
Yeah, but like it has to see something. Like there's no way they can't ignore it. Or the other option is they just make it the GP promo, and that doesn't introduce a lot of copies in the world, but it introduces.
That I would be angry if that was the GP promo. That card could have been that could have been a modern staple for my GP promo. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's true.
Like I would be pissed if that was my GP promo.
I mean, like it gets a real amount of copies in the world, but it's still now it's like, I mean, I have like 5 Progenitus.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like Progenitus is cool, but dude, who plays that?
Yeah, it's played as a one of and some weird people's commander and
obscure legacy decks.
Yeah, like I wouldn't say weird people commander. Like real. That's a real cool commander card. But
yeah, for sure. But yeah, like come on, man. Just
Stoneforge was great.
Yeah, man.
Mutavault was great.
Oh, it was so good.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they knocked it out of the park with that Mutavault art.
Oh,
love it. Anyway,
but back on track.
back on track. What do you got next for us, Daniel?
Rochester Direct.
Oh my goodness. So, to be fair, I didn't watch a whole bunch of coverage. However, Stanislav Sivka has won playing red-black aggro. And I just want to bring this up really quick because Sivka was known back in the day. He got his notoriety as a professional Magic player playing eggs. If you are not familiar with that deck, good. If
you are interested in watching somebody play by themselves for a while,
it's like Storm. It's like the best way I like to explain it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Go for it.
But it's like Storm, but it takes 3 times as long, and they can still whiff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a lot. Okay, to put it in context, have you ever seen the super infamous footage of Brian Kibler F6ing in real life?
Yeah.
It was to that deck. It was to that deck that Brian Kibler writes F6 on a piece of paper, drops it on a table, stood up, and went and got some food.
Yeah, he went and he told the judge, make sure he doesn't do anything illegal, and he went and just grabbed lunch.
Yeah. What does that tell you? Anyway, so Sefka played this deck, and ironically enough, he won his final match thanks to Rook Egg, actually. So it was like this really cool nod to his past. Like, what a good way to... like everything kind of comes around all at once. You know what I mean? It was really interesting to watch. Like right after he won too, he held up his 2 copies of Rook Eggs, and he took a picture of him, like holding up the 2 copies. Like, yeah, y'all know what this is about. Like, you know what I mean? Like he relished in that moment, and it was just awesome, awesome to watch. The Rochester draft. Okay. I also wanted to bring this up too because like while it was super cool and it was really like historic and a super throwback for everybody, like I don't want to watch this all the time. You know what I mean?
I think it was a cool thing to do for the 25th anniversary, but it's like, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
We did that and it was a cool moment, and well, because people are having conversations online about, oh man, I mean, obviously a lot of people really loved it. It was a throwback for people who've been playing for 25 years, right? And so, like, people were really excited about it, and they're like, we should do this every year. And it's just like, I can't.
No.
I couldn't imagine having that happen every year.
The problem is, with the Rochester draft, is the rest of the Pro Tour feeds into the fantasy aspect of the game. And, like, when you were a little kid and you wanted to be a Jedi when you grew up and you walked around the house with the cape on kind of thing. No?
Very familiar. Mine was Mega Man. I put cereal boxes on my arm and pretended that was a buster.
But you wanted to do something. You could see yourself doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, as a kid. But the Pro Tour, you can see yourself doing that, whether you're actually playing on the Pro Tour or whether you're like, I see them, I can relate to them, I want to play that deck at F&M. You can't do that with Rochester beta draft.
Very true.
Nobody can be like, yes, I aspire to be the guy on the Rochester draft, because it's just so impossible to do. So it's not that I don't think people should do it. I just think it's just not entertaining enough to people because it just doesn't matter to anybody else in the world other than the 8 people that were on that table and the 20 people who were the fans of the Rochester draft itself. Right. So yeah.
So it was really cool watching Sifka win with a couple eggs.
That's a throwback. I thought the times I tuned into it, I thought it was very interesting to like, oh, here are all the old cards. These are kind of cool. Here are the interactions.
Right.
I like for the 5 turns that I watched, I was like, okay, I'm reading the interactions the same way I would read a normal match, but then it just like I was like, okay, this is it's like watching a format that I would never play. Like watching people over here and just sitting on the tables and playing Frontier. I would never play Frontier, so I don't care.
Oh, you're missing out. You're missing out. You think Pauper's a good format? You should play Frontier. That's some powerful Magic, bro. You ever gear hulked into a dig through time?
I have.
You can in Frontier.
I have done it in Commander, but I've never done that in Pop or in Frontier. But no, I like Pauper more just because I could Delver and Brainstorm in the same format.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I will give you that. I mean, you could do that in...
Yeah.
Okay, I guess you could do that in other formats too, but...
Yeah.
Regardless. So yeah, the Rochester draft was super cool. I really enjoyed it, but man, like, it really felt like it was special, and if we bring it back every year, if we bring it back every year, it won't be special.
No.
That's the point.
Yeah. I think it was a very cool thing to do, especially because they did it at a lot of the other GPs. Like there's like 5 GPs that were dedicated to the 25th anniversary, starting with Vegas and a couple others.
Yep. Vegas, Chiba, Sao Paulo. What was the other ones? Vegas, Chiba, Sao Paulo. Those are the big ones that I watched.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like it is cool to do once in a lifetime kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll do it again in another, 10, 25 years.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Save the packs for the 50th anniversary.
Man, you know that Wizards of the Coast is sitting on, what? No, do you know? Do you know Wizards of the Coast is sitting on like a warehouse of alpha and beta, dude?
Interesting.
Did you know that?
I didn't know.
That's like hushed. It's like hushed rumors in the finance
I assumed
community,
they were sitting on like a closet. I didn't realize I'm not aware that they're sitting on a warehouse.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, okay.
I would say a couple pallets, easy.
Oh,
a couple pallets of boxes, easy. That
doesn't surprise me at all.
Like they made a joke a few years back with like, oh yeah, we found this in the closet. You know what I'm talking about? Are you familiar with it?
No. Not really.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. That's a whole different thing. But yeah. So I think that we can see this for years to come for when special occasions like this happen, right?
Yeah. No. It's like I'm trying to think of something else you do on a special occasion. I got nothing. It's like
it's just a good way to celebrate.
It's the top shelf brandy that you take out for only your grandparents' 50th anniversary, 80th birthday kind of thing.
A 60-year-old bottle of wine.
Yeah. That's
like that
exactly
same
what
thing,
this
right?
is for. This is not an everything.
Good old illegal Cuban. They're legal now though. Never mind.
Yeah.
You ever had an illegal Cuban? It tastes way better than legal Cubans. Let me tell you, there's something special about when you're not supposed to have one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt that mine was even real, to be honest with you. But it felt like it was real, and that's all that mattered.
Yep.
Also, for the Rochester draft, we watched Jason Chan, also known in the streaming community as Amaz, open up a Shivan Dragon.
Oh, that's awesome.
Man, that felt good. And let me tell you something. He was playing a green-black deck. He's playing green-black. And let me tell you, I'll be damned if Amaz didn't put 2 mountains in his deck and splash a Shivan Dragon.
Oh, yeah.
And dude, he wrecked people with it.
Oh, yeah. Like, as soon as it resolves, you just have a great dragon. It's like... Shivan Dragon in that kind of format is just an amazing, cool card.
It's insane. Yeah.
And it's just very fun to play. Like, you just turn it sideways, you pump it up, it's just great.
And let me tell you something. Every time he played that Shivan Dragon, it almost always attacked for 8.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with his 2 mountains?
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Yep.
Like, it was pretty cool to watch. It was just like this thing that Amaz is pretty new in the Magic community. Like, I brought him up with you. You didn't even know who he was.
No.
Amaz is a pretty prominent Hearthstone streamer. Has been for a long time. And he just recently got into Magic, like, maybe not even a year ago. Don't quote me on that. But he's really, really new to it. And so he's got a bunch of experience playing TCGs.
Yeah.
Or CCGs or whatever you crazy people call it. And it was like cool. It's cool to watch him because I've watched his streams.
Okay.
I do play Hearthstone kind of casually. It's a fun card game. I don't take it too serious.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I tried getting into Eternal at one point and it just didn't really...
Yeah, Eternal's kind of the same way. I'll jump in, play a game, get wrecked by some new cards I haven't seen, and then shut it off.
Every time I try to replay that, it feels like how new players play in Magic. It's just like, oh, these are cards and they do things.
Yeah.
So I just got my butt kicked.
Right, like what's an untap step? Like what? Wait. Anyway, so I enjoy playing Hearthstone every once in a while, very casually. I'll mostly like their like events. Or not events, but they release like content where it's like a string of like mini bosses you gotta beat. I really like playing those.
Oh, cool.
They give you like cool, unique decks, and
cool.
It's this cool thing. Anyway, Maz plays this game, jumped into Magic, was really good at it. Turns out, I saw him a few weeks ago at GP Minneapolis playing, and he did really good. He almost top 8'd actually.
Nice.
GP Minneapolis. I was kind of keeping an eye on him, like his statistics, just because like there's very few pros at GP Minneapolis, it felt like.
Yeah.
Compared to like other GPs. And so like he's just one of the kind of people I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye out for that guy. Yeah, he almost top 8'd, dude.
Nice.
That's insane. He's only been playing for like a year.
Yeah, but I mean, it turns out when you're good at strategy generally,
he is too. He's very good.
It's easier to transform your skills from one strategy game to the other. So it doesn't surprise me. I know like a lot of pro players also play like other pro games like poker and whatnot.
While we're on the subject of Amaz, I kind of just want like there's like a lot of negativity towards him, like being a Hearthstone
around on Twitter. But
being like a Hearthstone player coming over to Magic, dude. Man, I gotta tell you, if there's anybody you want in the community, dude, it's this guy. He's great. He's a sweethearted guy. I've watched his streams every now and then. He always seems like a really good-hearted guy. Like even when he like rolls over his opponents, he's still just like lighthearted and having fun. When he does bad, he's lighthearted and having fun.
That's the way Magic players should be.
That's the way Magic players should be, man. We shouldn't be telling that he can't play our game because it's our game and not his game. That's crazy.
Yeah, because the key word there you said was game.
Right, and it's just like it's so incredible to watch like all these Magic players, not all these Magic players. To be fair, it's a vast minority of people that have like been negative towards this guy,
Yeah.
and I'm sure all of it's been on like social media where people are anonymous and can just say things like that. You know what I mean? It's just like I don't know. I just kind of want to throw it out there that he seems like a really really awesome guy, and honestly, like who's gonna complain about stealing a Hearthstone player?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like Magic is literally doing the thing it wants to do this year. You know what I mean? Like
go back
steal the Hearthstone players back.
Oh yeah.
Try to get some of that Hearthstone money.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, it's just cool. I'm super glad that Jason Chan is part of the community. I hope he sticks around. I really enjoy having him around, watching him play. He's a really good Magic player. Yeah, takes his time. You know, he's very deliberate.
Excellent.
Which is kind of cool to watch. You know. Because like watching his streams and Hearthstone and stuff, he's just very like woo. Like I mean, there's times where he's very competitive and he thinks out his moves and stuff, but there's other times where he's like woohoo, just like throws things out, does things, you know.
Let's see if this hits the board.
But that's kind of Hearthstone mentality.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like
because the game is a lot more random from what I
yeah,
understand.
there's a whole bunch of RNG in Hearthstone, but this is not a Hearthstone podcast. Everyone.
No. We were Pokemon last week. This is Hearthstone this week. Yeah, we'll find something.
Were we Pokemon last week?
Yeah, we Pokemon.
Oh man, we really need to consolidate our values here. So yeah, that's really everything from Pro Tour.
I got nothing to add.
No.
I mean, it was an incredible event to watch. I was.
How do you feel about the 25th? Okay, so like this is like the culmination of it, right? Like how do you feel? How do you feel about the 25th anniversary of Magic? Do you feel like it was celebrated? Do you feel like do you think Wizards celebrated the community? Do you think the community celebrated Wizards of the Coast? Like how do you feel? It was a successful anniversary?
From my point of view, it is a very weird, considering I've only been playing this game for like 5 years. So I'm just like,
that's fair.
This is kind of neat. I feel like it's been very overhyped by Wizards, but I haven't seen a lot of the big player bases being like, woo, 25 years. It's just been like, oh, look at this, it's cool. So yeah, no, I'm just like, it's neat that it is an old game, but I feel like it's one of those things that's like, it's been just kind of oversold as this is the big thing.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Like it's one of those things like you see this a lot in other forms of media like news when they're just like it's the eclipse of the century, and it's just like it's another eclipse. And literally, we can see that there's a better one in a better location in 5 years.
Right.
So it's just like that's a little bit how I feel. It's just like, okay, this is cool, but you guys are a little overselling it.
You know, it's really strange to me. This whole like 25th anniversary is supposed to be a celebration of the roots of Magic and like where it's all come from and how we got to where we are now. Like that's the whole idea behind it, and it's such a weird time for the game because so many things are being changed. Like while it is a celebration of the 25 years of Magic and what that means to like players and people and everything, like so many things are trying to be changed right now. Buy a box promos, the way prizes are distributed, the way like tournaments happen with team events now. Like that, these are all these different crazy. Like I'm not saying that they're all negative things. There's a lot of really good positive changes that have come out of like the last year or so of Magic. A lot of some rough terrain though, but it's so strange to see.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't think it's completely. I think it's like Wizards, like especially I think with starting with cons, you see a very big growth of success between cons, Shadows, and Aether Revolt were very like big and boomy sets for Magic, and right now they are experimenting, trying new things. I think it's always good to have that mentality. Just try something new. As long as you're not stupid about it, buy a box promo, then you just try something new. You can't really go that wrong, and if it flops, it flops. Whatever, you move on to the next thing. So I don't have a problem with them trying something new and doing new things, like the whole standard rotation. It's like, okay, they tried something new.
That was the other thing I was going to bring up.
Yeah, like they tried something new. I thought I was going to like it because I've always really enjoyed when things rotate out, because then the format's fresher and you get to it's a time of brewing and a time of excitement more so than when things just get added in. So I was going to be looking very much forward to 2 rotations because it's like Christmas twice a year.
Yeah, in a weird way it is, but a lot of people didn't feel that way.
Yeah, no, they rolled it back, which is like, okay, if more of the community feels that way, then sure, whatever. Go. I mean, it's not like we broke the format broke Magic by making those change for a couple of months. Obviously, we've recovered. It's no big deal.
I think it's really cool that we've had all these old packs of Magic open the past, few months now.
That is very cool.
It's really cool to watch all these professional players I've been watching for all these years, like open up beta packs and unlimited packs. And dude, Mark Rosewater is walking around GPs handing out packs of unlimited to people.
Oh, that's just awesome.
Like, just some like random little girl comes up, she's like, "Oh, you're Mark Rosewater." He's like, "Yep, here's a pack of unlimited." Like, that's awesome. That's really a celebration of Magic. I feel like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that feels like, you know what I mean? Like, that little girl has no idea. I mean, maybe she does. Maybe I might be wrong, but I can just totally envision a world where this little girl's like, "Haha, pack of Magic cards, got another one." You know what I mean?
Look at that. There's an elf in this one.
And like, to so many people, it's just like, man, all the history behind every card you pull, people are like attached to these cards, and she's like, "Woohoo! Open my pack!"
25 years ago, they did the same thing. They got a random pack.
Yeah, at her age,
Yeah, they were super excited to just have cool cards.
Right. It's kind of cool to think about.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's been super successful. I hope that they celebrate more anniversaries like this. We didn't get a 20th anniversary, really.
I did not know that.
Yeah, we did not.
Huh.
There was like some little something. They printed something like, "Oh yeah, 20 years." Haha. Like something like that. And then there's like maybe a card got printed. It wasn't not that big of a deal. Whatever.
That would have
it
been
was,
right as I was joining, because that would have been 5 years ago. Would have been 2013.
Yeah, but they didn't celebrate it. It wasn't this big thing. So I don't know, man. Could you see a 30th anniversary?
I could see a 30th anniversary, because I feel like they are trying to push a lot more of that kind of like.
There's a history behind it now.
Yeah, and I'm very curious.
Smart.
Which is very obnoxious, because like they're trying to push this history of Magic thing, but I feel like for the last couple of years they've almost been shunning the history, like with like the old Legacy formats. I feel like they've been kind of halfway shunning Legacy and trying to kick it out.
I mean, they definitely don't focus on it, and I understand as a Legacy player how that could be frustrating.
Yeah.
Frustrates a lot of Legacy players that they don't get more support for their format.
We used to have, I think, a lot more Legacy GPs, and they brought it down to like one.
One a year. One in America, one in somewhere else in the world. Yeah, it's just like
you're halfway shunning your own history.
Yeah.
And like the way they treat the reserve list, which is a completely different. It's like you're kind of locking people out of the history of the game.
In a weird way, yeah. You're right.
So it's like it is kind of weirdly counterintuitive to be like, look at this history that you can't
be a part of. Yeah,
it's just like,
I don't think it's like that necessarily, but I guess to some players it could feel that way.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, I wouldn't. It's like, it's kind of weirdly conflicted. It's just like, okay, it's like this is the history that we weren't all there for, because like the game has pentupled in size since those early days. It's just like how many more thousands of players are playing that just they can't appreciate it.
Yeah, like it almost feels like the time for Magic to grow is over. And now it's time for Wizards to really like keep the players that they got with them. Yeah. Like they went through this huge growth again. Like it kind of happened with RTR. You know what I mean? There's this huge influx of play, like the Innistrad RTR era. Oh yeah. Huge influx of players, kind of lulled out a little bit, and then there's a big influx of players again during the, like Cons era, like Origins era Magic. Yeah. A couple years ago, another huge influx of players. Battle for Zendikar saw a bunch of players come back too, because it's Zendikar, a bunch of players came back, and now it's like time to really keep us here. Yeah, it's like you're going to reach the point of you're just going to. I mean. There are two ways this will go. It's either going to be so popular that it's going to reach super mainstream. It won't. Not like your typical esports. Not like League of Legends or Counter Strikes or things like that.
It's being mainstream popular as the big esports games, but I'm thinking like you're gonna eventually reach the point where it's either like Pokemon level. You can't say Pokemon on the streets and everybody not know what you're talking about. Even old ladies know what Pokemon is.
Yeah, that's a little different. That was cultural.
Yeah. But it's like you're either going to get there or you're just going to plateau off, which I think is the more likely scenario.
Yeah, I think it's kind of happening right now.
Yeah. Which is fine to some degree. It's like that's going to happen.
It's just like natural. It's just how business works.
Yeah, you're going to plateau off and ratioally match the population growth kind of thing. But and if that's the thing, then you got to figure out how do we keep these people in here and growing at the rate that people grow at.
Right.
Which I think is fine.
Yep, and I don't know the answer to that. I don't do business.
Nah.
which is probably smart.
Yeah, I just play Magic.
If this ever becomes successful, I definitely have to have somebody else like take care of all that for me.
Yeah, we'll worry about that when the time comes.
Oh man, I have no idea what I'm doing half the time.
You just show up and talk.
I'm just halfway decent at Magic, and I know how to talk.
Yep,
that's it.
That's all I do. I'm just a machine that turns coffee into bad Magic plays.
I think that
jokes.
yeah. I think that kind of wraps it up for this episode. But before we get out of here, Daniel, I want to know, where do you see Magic being in the next 25 years?
That's a very long time frame. Like you're talking about in 25 years.
Yeah, just what do you see? What do you see happening within Magic within the next 25 years?
Like I'm looking at like the next 25 years. You could have the potential to have like everybody sitting in like Matrix level computing chairs and whatnot, or it looks like Wall-E. That's not likely, but it's entirely possible.
Damn it, Daniel! This is just a fun exercise.
But like it has come so ridiculously far since then. And shooting out double that way is like, people are either going to be playing this game completely online. The cards might be digitalized and holographic.
Right. We'll have. Imagine it, dude. We'll have VR rooms where we can cast our spells and summon creatures, and it's gonna happen, dude. 25 years.
I could see in 25 years people having computer chip implants in their brains.
Yeah.
And now you have to figure out
Give it 40.
Yeah, but it's like, is this going to be legal in Magic to have a computer in your head, the kind of thing? It's like
that's a whole different conversation, Daniel.
Oh yeah. You asked 25 years. I'm like, that's way too much. Like,
okay, I'll give you an example. I see Emrakul coming back as a planeswalker.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Okay, in 25 years, sometime within the next 25 years. What do you see in the next 25 years, Daniel? Fucking brain computers and. What about you? Do you think we'll ever see the return of
Urza? Yeah.
In the next 25 years? Do you think
I think we got him as a weird Planeswalker silver border card, and I think having some sort of especially if they're doing all this, celebrate the history of the game, I could easily see them wrapping around to some.
Dude, that's how they would have gotten Urza's back. 25 years of Magic.
Yep.
Oh well. We'll have that for 50.
There we go.
50 years of Magic, Urza's back.
There we go.
Things about to get crazy.
And he's so disappointed.
And everyone for everything.
Yeah.
Because, he didn't just blow up an entire planet and cause a worldwide ice age to happen or anything. He didn't murder hundreds of people and cause the deaths of hundreds of innocent people.
Oh, yeah.
But we don't talk about that. We love Urza. He's great.
He's cool.
Yeah. So that wraps it up, man. I think we're done here.
Yeah, that's about that.
Yeah,
time.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
We're good. I think reaching the cleanup step here.
Yep.
Before we get out of here, though, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Enchanted Realms, located here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Thank you guys so much for letting us record this ridiculous podcast in one of your fancy rooms. And we're going to make this thing super nice one of these days.
Oh, yeah, that'll be sweet.
Yeah, we're going to deck this thing out once we get cameras and everything. I got so many ideas. I can't wait. So, Enchanted Realms, Colorado Springs. That's where Daniel and I play. If you're around, come play with us, please, and let us know. Let us know. And with that, I think we're out. You good?
I'm good.
Okay. We'll see all you people next week when we talk about what happens next week.
Bye.
Later, y'all.